You are very welcome back to the 2020 British Off-Road Grand Prix. This is round number 2 of four-wheel drive qualifying, and currently running is heat number 3. We had to take a little bit of a break to go and get some results posted, to go and get some photos, talk to some people. That's why the stream was interrupted, but we're back now. We've only missed a few heats. If you were one of the stadium truck or short course racers, apologies to you, but you'll get more than your fill of short course and stadium truck tomorrow. So that's the best we can do for now. Just want to take a moment to thank RC Octane. They are a model shop in the southwest of the UK, and RC Octane have been very generous and helped us to get here and to bring you this coverage. Not only are they supporting the local racing and national championships with this, but they are also running a small team, including Dave Poulter, Martin Owen, and there are other gentlemen here all racing for the team. So RC Octane, I'd ask you to check out their website, rcoctane.co.uk, and they pride themselves on being able to help people just getting into sport, or experts, or people who just want a toy for bashing around in the back garden, or whether they want to go racing. They can help you with the lot. So check them out, rcoctane.co.uk, or if you're at the meeting or planning to come down to the meeting tomorrow and want to find out a bit more about RC Octane, come on over to the Racer A1 tent and we will introduce you to the team drivers and you can have a chat. So this is heat number 4 of four-wheel drive. Jake Guy, Carl Perryman, Greg Stevens, Carl O'Connor, Carl Chillingsworth, Trevor Follington, Robert Stevenson, Rob Jones, Tom Erickson, Matthew Gill and Rob Easton. We are going to follow Jake Guy away. That is not Jake, this is Jake. So Jake is over. I know myself that crashing on lap 1 is an absolute pain because you feel like you can't build on anything and you end up sort of having to reset your brain and pretending that lap 1 never happened, and then mentally dealing with it after you've done your remaining laps. But anyway, we are still with Jake. We'll let everything settle down. There's plenty of crashes going on in the background further down the field, and we will see at the end of this lap who is leading the heat and pick them up. So I can tell you that at the moment Matthew Gill leads the heat. So let's try and find Matthew. I'll wait for them to come through. That is Jake going through. Carl. So just Matthew has dropped down and Carl Perryman has taken the lead. So we're going to try and find Carl. I suspect that he's one of these. So Jake is through. Has Jake recovered? Now here's Carl. So this is Carl Perryman. There has been a lot of instances at the start of this heat, so the results are a bit all over the place. We're just letting them stabilise a bit and we will try and find the leader, but for the moment this is Carl Perryman. Carl not going too bad. Clearing the tabletop. He's keeping it neat and tidy. Over the fingers. Looks okay down the straight. Just about dropping the triples. Might try and get a better line on the triples. And Carl, it was a good lap for Carl because Carl has taken the lead of the heat. So this is Carl Perryman. He's on an 11.508 predicted, which is a similar pace to this heat on the last run. He is clearing the triple. He just get a little bit more of a diagonal direction through that, and he's saving himself a little bit of time. But all in all, he's going well. He's putting in consistent laps. Nice line through there. Avoiding all that. So, a minute and 15 to go. Carl Perryman dicing them up. Well, he was under a little bit of pressure there, I think, but okay. So at the minute, Carl has sped up and he is on an 11.505 predicted. Jake Guy second, Matthew Gill running third as Jake and Carl go over the line. So 30 seconds to go. Carl Perryman currently leading this heat on 11.506 predicted. Well, so late race nerves get to these guys. That is race over. Let's just see what sort of times they finish off with. So, Jake is the first across the line. Now, where is Carl gone? Carl suffered on that last lap. So, Jake takes the heat, 11.505. Carl second, 11.507. And Carl O'Connor, 11.512. Sorry, Matthew Gill in third, 11.512. Carl O'Connor, same time. Fifth, Trevor Follington, 5.15. Those guys not a little bit quicker than last time. But Nathan Notley and Mike Morse from the previous heat are still 1 and 2 in round. Jake and Carl come in third and fourth. So, heat number 5 is up. Factory Freddie Russell leads them off. We'll stick with Freddie to start off with. Mark Gudgeon in second. Mark Bismere in third. Jason Green fourth. Fifth is Sam Law. Sixth, Gary Wright. 7, James Wright. 8th, Chris Bowden. 9, Ian Litley. 10, Paul Edwards. And 11, Adam Drain. Now, we did get a request earlier to follow Ian Litley. So we'll stick with Freddie for the first few laps and we'll let everybody bed in. And then if we can find Ian as he comes across the lap, try and identify who he is, car number 4, we will do that. See a little bit of a problem in race control. They're just sorting it out quickly. So in our chat section, Chris, thanks for your message. Come on, righty, he says. There's two rights in this. You'll have to educate me. Is it Gary Wright or James Wright? Car 8 or car 9? You will have to tell me. So we're just waiting for this heat to start. Freddie is going to be first off. There wasn't much notice there, but Freddie is off. Straight away a problem for Freddie. I'm not surprised. He wasn't given much warning. So we will stick with Mark Gudgeon. So Freddie was quick in the last heat. We'll just see if he can recover. And I see it's James Wright you're looking for. Okay, I will keep my eye open for James. James is car number 9. Let the first few laps settle down, and then we will try and find both Ian Littley and James Wright. So 2 laps down, breakaway at the front. That is Mark Gudgeon. And Freddie. So as they come across the line, we will drop back and try and find James Wright. So, second car here, I believe, is James. So we hadn't followed James in the last round. Not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. He's getting around. This track is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. The surface is extremely grippy, and if you get a bad bounce or something, you are in trouble because the car sort of snatches. Not pleasant at all. So this is James Wright, just coming over the line, down the steps. And James is over. So Sam Law leads this heat. We are going to go around and try and pick up Sam, who should be, I'm expecting to be this car here. Yeah. So this is Sam laying down the law. I'm sure he's not the first time he's heard that joke. So Sam Law leads, have predicted 12.518, which is a good pace, but I don't believe it's as quick as the pace of the last time this heat was run. I will have to check that out. What I can tell you is that if Sam continues this pace, it'll put him in the TQ position, which would be quite nice. So across the line, down the steps. This car doesn't look the easiest to drive, but he is getting it around. Over the single, bobbles across the triple, up into the platform section. He's good through there. He's probably one of the best in his heat through there, to be honest. He gets the landing off that double nicely and breaks into that hairpin and gets around it. He's making up good time. So Sam Law leads the heat on a 12.514 now predicted. So yeah, and I'd say the marshal has blocked his view slightly, and that hasn't worked out nicely for him at all, and he's in more trouble. and more. So Sam's run has fallen apart. Let's try and pick up Mark Gudgeon, who should be out here. Oh, didn't we say we were going to go and find Ian Litley? We'll find Ian Litley. Car number 4. Just as the heat ends, I'm afraid, and Ian is the first man across. There's his yellow car. We've missed him. What I can tell you is we are waiting now on Sam and the 2 Marks and Freddie to come and finish to see who has won this heat. Mark Bismere crosses the line. Mark Gudgeon crosses the line. Do we have Sam? Now we have Sam. Sam did not finish, unfortunately, after his incident. So Mark Gudgeon takes that on a 12.521. Freddie Russell also on a 521, 0.4 down. Mark Bismere on a 12.21. Sorry, Mark Bismere on a 12.20. So Mark Bismere takes that. Don't know why the results updated after the race was over, but Mark Bismere takes that 12.520.8. Second, Mark Gudgeon 12.521.2. Freddie Russell third. So that puts Mark into TQ. Mark Bismere TQ, second Mark Gudgeon, third Freddie Russell, fourth Nathan Notley, fifth Jason Green, sixth Mike Moyes, seventh Chris Bowden, eighth Gary Wright, ninth Jake Guy, and 10 Carl Perryman. That's your top 10 after 6 heats. After five heats. This is heat 6. Martin Hadley will lead us away. Alexander Bowles, third Jody Long, fourth Jordan Coleman, fifth Adam Hall, sixth Jonathan Baker, 7th Ewan Tumulty, 8th Jason Bing, 9th Alex Springer, 10th Dominic Carter, and 11th is Leon Morel. So we will follow Martin Hadley. Martin went well in round 1. Not a perfect run, but he did go well, and he has got pace. So Martin is away. Can he improve on his round 1 time? Bit of a bobble, got away with it. I think he was a little bit tight going into the tabletop. Landed tight and then was offline. Really, really tricky. So he's up onto the platform and around and down. Bit of a bad bounce off that and a bit wide, but he's getting around. So let's not hold each other up, guys. Down the end of the straight and in, and that is Mark over. So we will follow Alexander Bowles for the moment. All yellow car, yellow body, yellow wheels. Down the straight. Bobble across and up onto the platform. Now Marshall, stay out of this man's way. He's neat through there. He's neat through there. Little bit over adventurous on the tabletop. And down the straight. So I can tell you now, after everything's settled down, that Ewan Tumulty leads. Alexander, who we're following now, is running second, and Adam Hall is third. I might drop back and just wait for Ewan. He should be here. So I'm not sure which one of these cars Ewan is. I suspect he is the white car. Now that I've said that, I imagine I'm completely wrong, but let's just see. So Ewan leads, predicts on a 12.512, which is very good. The lead has changed now. Alexander Bowles, this bright yellow car running down the straight. now leads. There's not much in it. First 4 cars are only separated by 5 seconds, so this is tight. You don't want to crash and be marshalled. That'll ruin everything. But Alexander Bold, he certainly has the line through the bank corner, and he's good through the fingers. He could be probably hitting the second one a bit harder. Safe through there. Bobbles over the triple, up onto the platform. A little bit tight, but he's carrying as much speed as anyone down those steps. It's not a particularly safe area, so he's doing quite well. But it's very, very close at the top. Alexander Bowles and Ewan Tumulty are swapping positions back and forth with 1 minute and 30 to go. This is heat 6 of 11. We are with Alexander Bold, who now leads this heat again. And now it's Ewan again. These guys are trading back and forth. Both are on a 12, 5:12, mid 5:12 predicted. That's only about 3/100th of a second in their times apart, so running at very similar paces. We will try and find Ewan, who should be just here. So even though Alexander Bowl leads the moment, we're here with Ewan Tumulty because they are so close. There's nothing between it. There's only a bobble between it. So Ewan comes across the line. He is this white car out in front. Now Ewan is getting across those triples. It certainly looks quicker, but that would tell me that he's losing time to Alexander somewhere else. So it is very tight. Yeah, and you know what? He looks really good. He could do with a bit more bottom end, or use the stick a bit more. The car looks a little bit flat out of the corners, but he's got pace on the straight and he's keeping it on its wheels. Does he take the heat? We will just wait for the order to be shuffled. At the minute it's showing Ewan Tumulty has done it on a 12:509, which is a great time. Alexander Bowl second on a 5:12. Alex Springer third on a 12:516. Fourth, Adam Hall on a 12:516. Fifth, Jody Long on a 12:521. Sixth, Jason Bing on a 12:522. Leon Morel on a 12:522. Martin Hadley all the way back in a 12:524. That was not a good run for Martin. 9th, Jonathan Baker. 10th, Dominic Carter. And 11th, Jordan Coleman. So Ewan Tumulty, provisional TQ with 6 heats out of 11 done. Let's move on to heat number 7. Ashley Patterson, thank you for your message. Yeah, Alex, I of course am calling him as I see it on the screen, so Alex makes sense. Going extremely well. Lovely and smooth, no major issues. It could have been his heat. He was only beaten by an absolute tiny amount. He must have had a bobble or a mistake on the last couple of laps, because it was neck and neck, and Ewan just pipped him by 2 and a bit seconds in the end. But a good, solid performance, I think. Solid performance. So we're waiting for William Callan to lead us away here, car number 2. This is heat 7 of 4-wheel drive qualifying round 2. So here we go. So William Callan is away. So in the last round, we noticed that this heat was sort of a breakpoint heat where the pace was considerably faster than the previous one. But Ewan Tumulty, 12.509. It's going to take some consistency to beat that, I think. So William Callan leads. Lee Hedges is running second, Daniel Pole in third, and I can tell you that just crossing the line, William is on for 13.521 predicted, so he needs to knuckle down, get his clear 5 minutes. I think 13.521 is pretty good. I always think I'm going well when I'm on the lead lap. Now traffic needs to clear. And sorry, I missed that. Always tricky with back markers when you're up in the air. William was over, had to be marshalled. Let's see what effect. I would imagine that that has knocked him back down into the 12s and may have stripped him of the heat lead. It looks like William has seeded a bit too low here. So I can tell you that Daniel Pole now leads the heat. Let's pick up Daniel. I think he is the third car in this bunch, which I would have to see. But Daniel Pole is leading the heat at the minute on a 12.503 predicted. Just have to wait for them to cross the line to confirm which car it is out of the three going over the triple now and up onto the platform. So I believe that is Daniel stuck in the hose. I'm not sure, but I believe so. We'll go back to the two remaining cars from that three. And if that is the case, I expect that it'll be Brandon Young who will start featuring in this heat. So here they come. So that was Brandon that crashed and not Daniel. So Daniel leads the heat on a 12.509 predicted, which is quite a drop off from where he was at a couple of laps ago. So there has been problems. But he's making amends. 12.507 now predicted after that run, so he's considerably quicker on that last lap than he has been on average up to that point. So Daniel Pole, the pink car, up onto the platform, down the steps and over the line into the double. More traffic for Daniel. Well, very, very difficult heat. There seems to be a few people who have overseeded or underseeded, and they've met in this heat, the two groups, and the traffic is not working out well for the faster guys. So here is Daniel Pole down over the line, and does Daniel have a problem? He's going again, but something happened. He still maintains the heat lead with a 12.508 predicted. If he can just keep the pace and get to the end, it'll be a good enough time. Commentators curse is at it again. So and again. So is that going to be a reshuffle? They're across the line. Where is Daniel?
Daniel Pole leading this one, heading to the top spot on TQ.
I suspect I was watching the wrong car, because still showing Daniel Pole as leading the heat. So it clearly wasn't Daniel Pole who had all those problems. And just about to cross the line now at the end of that run. And what I can tell you is that Daniel Pole has taken it on a 12.506, so he recovered well. So many pink cars out there. It's easy to lose track when I'm trying to look at the results board at the same time. William Callan second, 12.509. Third, Ben Simpson on a 12.512. Then you have Steve Haskins, Lee Hedges, Richard Miller in sixth, Adrian Parks, Russell Everton, Brandon Young in ninth, and Scott Follington, who had a problem, got back into the race in 10th, and Rich Pacey did not finish. So it is tricky picking out the right car, must admit. Clearly wasn't Daniel who had those several crashes in the middle. So apologies, Daniel, if you're watching this at a later time. It is tricky when so many cars look the same. As the cars come through the start-finish line and it triggers on my screen, I try to pick up who it is, but it doesn't always work. But I can, if you are watching, I can tell you that you're currently on TQ after 7 heats out of 11. So this is heat 8. Callum Niblis first away. Steve Wilkinson 2, Alex Haywood 3rd, Ian Payne 4th, 5th Harry Mares 6th, Richard Gasson 7th, Matthew Williams 8th, Paul Field 9th, Ethan Gill 10th, Chris Eli, and 11th Darren Windsor. So this will be Callum Niblis, who I would expect to be up on the 13 lap pace.
Cheers, CJ. Leo 25 stakes tonight. Go drivers, have the call, please.
So Callum is away. And a bit of a bad bounce before the jump put him off line, but he recovered, got away with it. He looks like a man on a mission. He is taking some chances where even the top 8 finalists are not taking chances, but we'll see how it goes for him. I apologise for cursing you. Seems to be the habit of the day. When I concentrate on someone, they seem to roll over. So what I can tell you is that as they all come through, that Harry Mears now leads the heat, car number 7. So we will follow these guys through the line, and then we'll pause and we will try and pick up Harry if he is still leading at that point. So that's Callum through, Stephen Wilkinson through, Alex Haywood through, Ian Payne through. Now here is Harry, the last in this bunch. Harry is on for 12,500 flat predicted, so he only has to go marginally quicker with his average to get into the 13 lap territory. Seriously, it's like I have voodoo powers or something. I mention somebody, they crash. So we'll let them come through again. This is a quick heat, so that will not have had a good effect on Harry's pace. Let's see where Harry is. So Harry drops to 5th with that tumble. Callum Niblis is back up the front. I believe that's Callum going down the straight now. Callum is on a 13.519 pace, which is getting real close to the sharp end. Lovely through there, taking his time, making sure to pick up all the racing line points. just struggling to pop over the triple. So whether it's old tires or some component needs to be maintained, or tired thumbs, or whatever other reasons there can be, he needs just a little bit more. So down the end of the straight, over the single, through the triple, up onto the platform and around and over the line, into the double, over the tabletop, a little bit high on the cambered steps in comparison to the really quick guys. He's not using the camber of that bend to his advantage enough. It's good to hear. Can he pop? Yeah, see, if he was just a couple of percent more power, he would just land really nicely off that. Just a little short, and it's risky, but he's doing it. That's nice. Over the triples, through the fingers. He's still leading this heat, and his pace has picked up quite a lot. He's now on 13. That wasn't Callum Niblett. I'm tired, and my brain is not working anymore. So Callum is in this group here. Here is Callum. Similar looking car, white and red. But regardless of that, Callum still leads the heat. He's now on a 13.511 predicted. This is getting into really, really sharp end territory. Well, I think that is him over. So on his last lap, so he won't be happy with that. And we have a jump that is coming up. So we'll just wait for Callum to cross the line, see where he finished up. So what I can tell you is that he still takes the heat, but unfortunately on a 13.517. Stephen Wilkinson second. Harry Mears third on a 5.22. Ian Payne fourth on a 13.524. So Callum dropping 6-ish seconds on that last lap. He had been doing consistent slow 23s, and he did a 30 on the last lap, so nearly 7-second drop. I'd say he's livid, but he does have TQ and is round by round, so it's point scores that count. But he won't be happy with that, I'd imagine. So heat number 9, Tyler Little will lead them away. Matt Thompson second, Jimmy Whitehall will start third, Yasser McGall fourth, fifth John Painter, sixth Martin Owen, seventh Rob West, eighth Mark Jones, ninth John Hazelwood, 10th Matthew Dodd, and 11th Carl Jackson. So this is heat number 9. We'll start off following young man Tyler Little. Here we go. Tyler's dad up on the rostrum, videoing the run. Does he not watch Raceway 1? But it is great to see father and son working together. It definitely gives drivers a huge advantage when their dad is involved. Tyler looking pretty good. He has that tabletop sorted. Little pop over the triple. Don't think he's losing any time. Nice onto the straight. Down and around. He is carrying really good speed, but I wonder in certain points is he carrying too much speed, and he's travelling a greater distance around the track to maintain that speed rather than going a little bit slower and running a tighter line. But like us all, he is only learning. He's running at a really good pace. So here he comes across the line. We'll take a look. So Matt Thompson is actually leading this heat. Here is Matt driving Giacomo for Nemo Racing. Matt on a 13.513 predicted. Well, I've had that bad effect on Matt I seem to have on a lot of people. So Matt across the line. So John Hazelwood pops up into second, with Tyler running down the straight now is back to lead in the heat on a 13.512 predicted. I'll just double check that is him. He should be across the line now. Yeah. So this is Tyler leading the heat on a 13.512 predicted. John Hazelwood is running in second. John, of course, the boss of Nemo Racing, on a 13.517 and getting quicker. So that means that Tyler is certainly in command of the heat. Interesting situation for Matt Thompson. He's in the heat with the guy who sponsors him. And it's definitely not a car you want to T-bone. You might find that your little bit of sponsorship gets reduced. I'm sure John wouldn't do that. But an interesting situation all the same. So we are following Tyler Little, who is currently leading this heat. Tyler crosses the line, and I can tell you that he is still on a 13.512 predicted, which is very good pace. Matt Thompson now has overtaken John Hazelwood to go back into second. He is on a 13.519 predicted. So that puts Tyler some 7 seconds out in the lead of the heat. So we will stick with Tyler. Going really, really well. Such a young guy. The potential here is absolutely massive. I can see he already has the discipline. Well, that's very unlucky for Tyler. I'm so sorry to see that. We will pick up Matt Thompson, who is here. Oh, I'd be very disappointed. He was running so well, and with only maybe one more lap to go, there's 5 seconds on the clock at this point. And I can tell you that it is now Matt Thompson who leads the heat. This is Matt. Matt is on for a 13.516 predicted, so he has recovered from his crash earlier on. Just coming over the triples, half clears at half bobbles sort of thing. Down the steps, over the line, and Matt takes it on a 13.515. I think Jimmy Whitehall has finished second on a 13.519. John Hazelwood third on a 5.20. Martin Owen on a 5.23. Martin will be happier with that. Rob Weston fifth on a 13.524, and the rest of the drivers who finished are on 12 laps. So at 22 minutes past 9 at night. I tell you, we're feeling the fatigue here today, especially knowing that I have to do 45 minutes of packing up before we leave here. Heat 10. Luke Holdsworth will lead the way. His brother Josh will be second. William Venables away in third. These three guys were quick in the last run. Then we have Kieran Cox, Gareth Stanton 5th, Charlie Saunders 6th, 7th Dom Nunn, 8th Jody Howard, 9th Jay Williams, 10th David Scott, and Johnny Skidmore starts from the back, but may not finish at the back, I suspect. So after 9 heats of 11, Matt Thompson is on TQ, 13 laps in 5:15. Callum Niblet in second, 13 laps in 5:17. Now, this heat is about to start, so we will go back to it. We're going to follow Luke Holdsworth, who's going to be first away. Very, very unlucky for Tyler Little in that last run. Not just on for TQ, but on to demolish TQ, probably by about 4 or 5 seconds. And a crash, I kind of suspect that his crash was caused by the mechanical failure, because he just seemed to have no drive going over the double and crashed into the face of the jump and then came to a complete halt. So very unlucky for Tyler. But this surface is incredibly grippy. It is very, very hard on transmission components. All those little parts are all keyed and grub screwed together. It's very difficult. So back to this heat. This is heat 10 of 11, and we are following Luke Holdsworth, who, he is not only fast but consistent, and that's something, the skills I wish I had. Really, really good. Again, these guys are young, only in their teens, and able to prepare the cars and drive them at this pace. It's fantastic. So what I can tell you after 2 laps, it is William Venables who leads the heat. Let's wait for Will to come across the line.
Top 5, Matt Thompson, now going 7th. One more heat to go, heat 14, get through tech lead.
So, I believe Will is the third car on the road. Luke across, Josh across, and Will across. It is Will. So here is Will. All very, very close between the top 3. Josh, Luke and Will all within the same second, all predicted for 13 laps in 3:12. But we'll stick with William Venables just for the moment, driving his associated car. So in over the single, just getting over the triple, up into the platform and down and across the line. He is currently running second in this heat. We are going to go back to Luke Holdsworth, who is just going up onto the platform now and around. Lovely and neat through there and down in front of the rostrum. A pinch slow through the curve, through the cambered corner, and around nicely through the triples. Lovely. You won't go quicker through there, I don't think. Round over the platform, really neat off the steps and back around, and he still leads this heat, predicted now in a 13:5:07. What I can also tell you is that the top 6 cars in this heat are all predicted to go top 6 in round, so this is a very fast moving heat indeed. Luke Holdsworth leads. 13.506 now predicted, so he's chipping away on his average, dropping it the whole time. William Venables second, 13.508. Will be happy with 13.508. That is serious pace, only a few seconds off the world's best. He's got to be happy. So this is Luke Holdsworth, still predicted 13.506. Second is William Venables, 13.509. As predicted, number 3, Johnny Skidmore, 13.510 predicted. Johnny has the Yokomo running really, really well. This is a seriously pacey heat. Second heat from top, of course. This event was based on seedings in qualifying best 2 laps. Problem for Luke. So who's going to pick up the lead of this heat? Luke still has the lead of this heat. Last lap. So Luke finishes 13.508 after his problems. Johnny Skidmore second, 13.509. William Venables 13. Josh Holdsworth 13.514. So Luke Holdsworth takes TQ with 1 heat to go. Skidmore second, Venables third, Josh Holdsworth fourth, Matt Thompson still in fifth, sixth Callum Niblett, seventh Jimmy Whitehall, eighth John Hazelwood, ninth Charlie Solders, and 10 David Scott. Not bad at all.
And then food time or bedtime or shot time for each day. Future's got a cozy table for 2 instead. Can't get in dinner.
So the top heat. Michael Orlowski is going to lead them away. Neil Crank second. Lee Martin third. Tommy Hull fourth. Jamie Hull fifth. Ben Smith sixth. Seventh Ben Pugh. Eighth Alan O'Brien. We will follow Michael Orlowski away from the start. Here we go. So Michael Orlowski away. Michael potentially could have dominated leg 1. Now he did win. Oh, sorry, round 1 should say. He did win it, not taking that away from him, but he was a mile ahead, and then a problem meant that he nearly fell back into the jaws of Neil Craig. So it's late at night. All these guys have been racing now for about 14 hours, probably been up for 15 hours. It's a long day. Let's see if tiredness is affecting him, or is he just Superman? At the minute, I think he's Superman. So, over the triples, the car just skips across there really nicely, neat and tidy, and down onto the straight. First jump, nice. Bobbles across the triple, perhaps hitting only the last triple. And back over the line. I can tell you that he is on for a 14.520 predicted. That's about 2 second and a half, 2 seconds into 14 laps. All the other drivers, oh sorry, Tommy Hall. Tommy Hall has just popped up with a 14.522 predicted. Tommy Hall. There is Tommy Hall. Let's pick up Tommy Hall. Here is Tommy. I hope. So Tommy is the third car in this run. So Michael Orlowski has taken it down to 14 laps, 5:19 predicted. Can these three guys get across the line and not hold each other up? Tommy Hall, 14:5:20. He's getting quicker as well. Tommy Hall going really well for a guy who was only born last year. Absolutely great to see the whole family. The whole family is involved in racing, and they deserve every bit of success that they get. So we didn't see it, but Michael Orlowski's had a bobble or a problem, and it's Tommy Hall who briefly led this heat. Orlowski has recovered. Less than half a second in their predicted times apart. 1/10 of a second on that particular lap. Tommy Hall going really, really well. He is the red car that we're trying to keep in the middle of the screen. So Michael Orlowski currently leads the heat. 14:5:20 predicted. Tommy Hall 14:5:21 predicted. Lee Martin 4:21 predicted. 14:5:21 predicted. So we'll try and find a lead. Come round to the start. There's a minute to go. Michael Orlowski crosses. Now Lee Martin. Here is Lee. So Orlowski still leads the heat on a 14:5:20 predicted. Also 5:20 now for Tommy Hall. Absolutely flying. Lee Martin also on a 5:20. This is going to be a three-way battle for the top. So 22.3 second lap for Michael Orlowski on that last run. He has gone down into the 5:19 predicted. Based on that, Lee Martin now has gone up into the number 2 slot on a 5:20. But Tommy Hall is also on a 5:20. So there's nothing in this, guys. 13 seconds to go. This could be Lee Martin's last lap. So Lee is through. So Michael Orlowski still leads the heat on a predicted 14:5:18 now. Lee Martin running in second on a 5:19. Tommy Hall also on a 5:9. This is all going to be very, very close. So what I can tell you, Michael Orlowski has taken heat 14:5:18. Who is going second? Lee Martin is going second, 14:5:18.8. 0.331 of a second behind Michael Orlowski. Tommy Hall 14:5:19. Ben Smith 14:5:20. 4 guys all up on 14 laps. Michael Orlowski, Lee Martin, Tommy Hall, Ben Smith. Jamie Hall then slots in the fastest 13 lapper on a 5:03. Neil Cragg on a 13:5:09. And I can tell you that your top 10 after 2 rounds of qualifying are: first, Michael Orlowski; second, Lee Martin; third, Tommy Hall; fourth, Ben Smith; fifth, Jamie Hall; sixth, Luke Holdsworth; seventh, Jonathan Skidmore; eighth, Neil Cragg; ninth, Greg Williams; and 10th, Ben Pugh. And my heart goes out to Tyler Little, because I think Tyler's time would have stuck him probably BQ, I would say 11th place. But anyway, he has more rounds. That is us done for the evening. I have to pack up all this gear, as does everybody out there. Thank you.